things are going from bad to worse for the Donald Trump campaign. Trump's campaign officially canceled the debate that was supposed to take place on September 10th with Vice President Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris predicted that Donald Trump was going to run away from this debate, that he was too scared. And indeed, an official statement was released moments ago from Steve Chung, Donald Trump's official campaign spokesperson, canceling the debate. Let's pull it up right now. Trump campaign statement on general elections debate. Here's what the Trump campaign is saying. Given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, general election debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. There is a strong sense by many in the Democrat Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, that Kamala Harris is a Marxist fraud who cannot beat President Trump, and they are still holding out for someone, quote, better. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their mind. Signed, Steve Chung, Trump Campaign Communications Director. Xenophobic, racist, hateful, and cowardly, all mixed into this short statement. Earlier today, Vice President Kamala Harris gave a statement to the press challenging Donald Trump to hold to his word for that debate. She said she was ready. She said, let's go. Donald Trump's response was what I just read you. The debate's officially canceled by Donald Trump. And this, as additional information comes out about Donald Trump's phony fraud VP pick, as Donald Trump had that very odd appearance yesterday in North Carolina where he was making weird noises and talking about imaginary friends like Hannibal Lecter. Here's what Vice President Kamala Harris said earlier today. Play the clip.
Previously agreed upon September 10th debate. He agreed to that previously. Now it appears he's backpedaling, but I'm ready. And I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage. And so I'm ready. Let's go.
Will you do it? Now let me show you this right here. It is a split screen where Donald Trump previously said anytime, anywhere, any place. And now, of course, we know that he is a total and utter liar. Well, we always knew that. Once again, what a coward that he is. Here, let me show you this clip. Play it.
Anytime, anywhere, any place, I'll debate.
Previously agreed upon September 10th debate. He agreed to that previously. Now it appears he's backpedaling, but I'm ready. And I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage. And so I'm ready. Let's go.
Now let me show you the statements that Donald Trump previously made where he signaled that he was going to cancel the debates, which we covered here on the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump posted recently, ABC fake news is such a joke. Among the absolute worst in the business, they try to make Crooked Joe into a brave warrior because he didn't have the guts to fight it out. He quit. They then tried to make Sleepy look like a great president. He was the worst. And Lion Kamala into a competent person, which she is not. ABC, the home of George Slopadopoulos, is not worthy of holding a debate, in which I hope there will be many. Other statements like this as well from Donald Trump, just showing how cowardly he is. My debate with Crooked Joe Biden, worst president, wah, 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 wah. ABC, home of George Slopadopoulos, sometime in September. Now that Joe, has not surprisingly, has quit the race, I think the debate with whoever the radical left Democrats choose should be held on Fox News rather than the very biased ABC. Thank you, DJT. One of the biggest tells was from Donald Trump's other post where he said, of which I hope there will be many. Talk for he's a coward. He's going to be backing out of this. He is frightened by Vice President Kamala Harris. We're just seeing other stats as well today, in addition to Vice President Kamala Harris surging in the polls, over $200 million raised from over 1 million small donors on Act Blue. Also, if you look at Google search history, more people right now are searching J.D. Vance couch than Trump assassination. That should be noted. Now, let's take a look at Vice President Kamala Harris's debate history. This was from 2020, Vice President Kamala Harris versus former Vice President Pence. Take a look at this. Play the clip.
This is important. Susan, I want to add, but Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. It is asking too much of the people.
Susan, we talked about
it is asking too much of the people.
Well, Susan, thank you, although I would like to go back. I think we need to move on to the issue.
But I would like to go back.
In 1864.
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
Mr.
Yes,
Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay.
We
Thank
still
you, Vice
learn
President.
from it, and I think
Vice
the
President
American
Pence, your
people,
time is
I want to
up.
say again, can be
Vice
proud
President Pence, I'm
of
sorry, your
what
time
we
is
have
up.
done. She has
15 seconds, because
Well, I gotta
we're
have
trying
more
to
than
keep.
that. Look.
Well, I'm sorry, but Vice President
Look,
Pence, you've had more time than she's had.
The truth and the fact is, Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000
He said
a
he's going
year.
to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Here's a video that we assembled at the MeidasTouch network today. We call it We're Not Going Back. And I think Donald Trump knows if he debates Vice President Kamala Harris, he is going to look like an utter fool. Here's the video we did. Play the clip.
Donald Trump wants to take our country backward. But we are not going back. We are not going back.
Tear gas was used to remove peaceful protesters from Lafayette Park.
The president setting up this photo op for himself, dispersing peaceful protesters. He's holding up a Bible.
This is a mass grave being dug for coronavirus victims at New York City's Potter's Field.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The love in the air, I've never seen anything like it.
A group on one side and you had a group on the other. Very fine people on both sides.
You can do anything. Grab him by the pussy.
I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade.
We are not going back.
Let's take a look at the press release issued by the Harris for President campaign. Statement on 78-year-old criminal's Fox News appearance. Main takeaways, she says, after watching Fox News this morning, we only have one question. Is Donald Trump okay? Main takeaways Trump gave to the American people. He praised Project 2025. He's flustered and lashing out. He's old and quite weird. The guy shouldn't ever be president again. Now, as Vice President Kamala Harris says, this is also about looking to the future versus Donald Trump's dystopian vision. We're not going back to that. Also, she's the prosecutor versus the convicted felon. Vice President Kamala Harris's prosecutorial skills have, of course, translated into debate success in the past. She's a great debater. Obviously, Donald Trump's terrified of her. Here she is in the 2020 debate calling out Donald Trump's criminal enterprise in the Democratic primaries. Play the clip.
We have a criminal living in the White House. And there is no question that in 2020, the biggest issue before us until we get to that tender moment is justice is on the ballot. And what we saw today is Ambassador Sondland, by his own words, told us that everyone was in the loop. That means it is a criminal enterprise engaged in by the president, from what we heard today, the vice president, the secretary of state, and the chief of staff. And so this not only points to the corrupt nature of this administration and the need for these impeachment proceedings to go forward, but it also points to another issue. And back to the question that you asked earlier, which is, what does this mean for the American people? Because what it means when I watch this is that there are clearly two different set of rules for two different groups of people in America. The powerful people who with their arrogance think they can get away with this, and then everybody else. Because here's the thing. For those working people who are working 2 and 3 jobs, if they don't pay that credit card by the end of the month, they get a penalty. For the people who don't pay their rent, they get evicted. For the people who shoplift, they go to jail. We need the same set of rules for everybody. And part of the reason I'm running for president is to say that we have to bring justice back to America for all people and not just for some.
Here's another clip from the debates in 2020. This is Vice President Kamala Harris. Play the clip.
There are plenty of people who applauded black women for the success of the 2018 election, applauded black women for the election of a senator from Alabama. But you know, at some point, folks get tired of just saying, oh, you know, thank me for showing up, and say, well, show up for me. Because when black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth in America, when the sons of black women will die because of gun violence more than any other cause of death, When black women make 61 cents on the dollar as compared to all women who tragically make 80 cents on the dollar, the question has to be, where you been and what are you going to do?
And here Vice President Kamala Harris is again recently giving a speech talking about the predators she prosecuted and that she knows Donald Trump's type. He's a sexual predator. He's a convicted felon. And here's what she has to say about him. And now he's running away scared. Play the clip.
You know, as many of you know, before I was elected as vice president, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, as I've mentioned, of California. And before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his. As a young prosecutor, when I was in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office in California, I specialized in cases involving sexual abuse. Donald Trump was found liable by a jury for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges and put it out of business. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college, Trump University, that was forced to pay $25 million to the students it scammed. As district attorney, to go after polluters, I created one of the first environmental justice units in our nation. Donald Trump stood in Mar-a-Lago and told big oil lobbyists he would do their bidding for a $1 billion campaign contribution. During the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big Wall Street banks and won $20 billion for California families, holding those banks accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of 34 counts of fraud.
By the way, this is what Donald Trump's current, soon-to-be former, I think, current VP candidate, J.D. Vance, had to previously said about Donald Trump. You know, J.D. Vance changed his whole life and his whole life story multiple times, changed his name, but this is what Vance had to say about Trump. Play the clip.
It's that Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person.
By the way, it's never a good day when you get headlines like this. This is from the Daily Beast. Associated Press has to walk back fact check on fake J.D. Vance couch sex story. The AP claimed that J.D. Vance did not have sexual relations with the couch. I'm seeing signs like this pop up. Von Schitzenpants, J.D. Vance, 2024. Obama hope, Trump hate, Biden heal, Kamala grow, J.D. Vance couch. We're also seeing this from The Advocate. They wrote a story about how J.D. Vance grew up and believed that he was gay growing up and then changed to become an anti-LGBTQ extremist. He also changed his name 3 different times, changed his entire identity, and now, of course, you've seen him out there attacking what he says is a threat to democracy and a horribly misogynistic thing that J.D. Vance is saying. J.D. Vance is out there saying that childless cat ladies are the biggest threat to democracy. Even Jennifer Aniston, who doesn't get involved in politics, has stepped out and she's condemning in the strongest terms J.D. Vance. So you saw Vice President Kamala Harris debate. Here's the weird stuff Donald Trump was doing in Charlotte, North Carolina. Play this clip.
Yeah, turn off your cameras for a second, okay? Boy, that's a lot of cameras. man. No, they get it up and they can't quite do it. Mom, I'm sorry, Mom.
He continued to do that over and over again. Here, play this clip.
15 years, a quarter of an ounce and a quarter of an ounce on the barbells, right? A quarter of an ounce, little tiny thing. And she goes, Olympic tryouts. Mom and Dad.
So folks, it's official. Donald Trump running scared right now. We'll keep you updated as we learn more on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Let's get there together. Thank you for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.